Skullgirls. For those of you guys who don't know the game, let me give you a very basic TLDR. Skullgirls is a fighting game about horror-themed girly pops that are fighting for something known as the Skull Hearts that grants wishes. I actually played this game when it first came out, and I'm decently well-versed in it. I have not seen the latest DLCs, but up to, like, Eliza, I played. So I want to talk about the character designs in Skullgirls, but I want to do this as, like, a ranking. My favorite designs, the ones that I consider the best, from bottom to top. I was originally going to do a smash or pass, but, a lot of the characters in this game are just dead-ass children, and I was like, no, that's going to be annoying. So let's just talk about the designs. Let's talk about which ones I consider the best and why, and which ones I don't like as much and why. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Quiet on the set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Starting with my rank number 18, my least favorite, you could say.
Hi, why's your hair so weird? Do you want to fight?
Umbrella. Now, Umbrella was introduced as a DLC, and while her design is cool, I wish they would have done a little bit more with it. The focal point of her design is dead as her umbrella, but she has some interesting lore. I wish she had a little bit more than just the cutesy raincoat and that's it. Although I do understand why it's not super elaborate on the outfit, because the umbrella has to be the showstopper here. Yeah, the umbrella itself is awesome. I love the color scheme on it. And again, I like the contrast between like the light yellow and like the weird dark eldritch umbrella. She's super cute. Not my favorite design, but a cute character nonetheless, fits within the Skullgirls vibe. Ranking number 17 for Lily is... Now, Peacock has one of the most badass designs, but there are certain things about her that I don't particularly love. I do love the rubber hose aesthetic. I think she's fucking awesome. But I wish we could have seen maybe an older version of this character. And something a little bit more horror when it comes to like how weird her arms are with the eyes. I would have made the eyes bigger, I would have made them stand out a little bit more. She's a very interesting character, don't get me wrong, and I think that she's a really funny one. But I think that in terms of design, we could have gone bigger. We could have done things a little bit goofier. What I do love about it though is that it has a really strong silhouette. It's very funny. Like I could recognize Peacock from like a billion miles away just from like the hunch pose and the super long arms alone. She also has a really, really clean color scheme, just like 4 colors, easy peasy. The brightest color being the accent on the eyes. It's very eye-catching and it's also super fun. I have played Peacock's campaign though. She has one of the most fucked up backstories out of all of them, while having a very distinctively sunny personality while also being kind of psychotic. And I think that shows in the design. It shows that like she's just not all there mentally, but she's having a good time, so it's fine, doesn't matter. My ranking for number 16 would be... Big Band. I'm sorry, Big Band people. I think he's dope. I think that the design is really striking. It has a super strong silhouette. I don't know a lot about him though, sadly, because I didn't get to play his campaign. But what I can tell you of the design is baller. You know how I talked about it's very difficult to make designs based off objects? Big Band is an example of it done right. Through silhouette alone and some very key design elements, they did manage to make an instrument into a person. Not to mention making him a very, very bulky presence as well. I also love that his fucking trench coat is a part of it. He also has like his little fedora, and part of the instrument is connected to his face. Everything about Big Band genuinely does scream musical, but it's not dainty or alluring or like subtle music like someone like Eliza or Squiggly who are performers. Big Band is here. Big. He's not my favorite character in the roster, but he does have a very striking design, which is why I do enjoy this one quite a bit. And he's also one of the guy units, of which there's not many. Number 15. Painwheel. Okay, Carol's design. It's a horror master class, but she's so off-putting. She's one of the few characters that actually kind of gives me the fucking heebie-jeebies in the Skullgirls cast. And like her story is so sad too. She has such a cool concept because she resembles a zombie, but she's alive. But it's such a strong, almost ghoulish concept. They did such a good job. From like the wheel coming out of her back and the fact that she has to hunch over from how heavy it probably is because it like affects her spine. The nails sticking out of like her shoulders and her hips. The big cuffs, the dark nail polish, the really, really big hands and feet. The like mask-like face and the nails sticking out of her skull as well. Like, it's every bit a tortured character, and that's why it gives me the heebie-jeebies, but it's super well realized. This is one of the few units in Skullgirls that I don't say, ooh, that one looks kind of sexy, because, like, sex appeal was definitely a big part of the marketing with this game. But you know what? This is where the horror aspect of Skullgirls really shines, even though it gives me the ookie spookies. Number 14!
I thought clowns were funny.
Fukua. I mean... It's just a recolor, and I found that to be kind of dull, even if she does have a different quote-unquote concept. When it comes to making characters for fighting games, I do feel like the clone characters are always kind of not my favorite. I've always wanted them to have unique designs, so I wish they had done something more unique with Fukua. She has an April Fool's character, and which is why she's in here. She is in the game. Like, you're still in 14, you're still above a lot of other characters, because Philia's hot, alright? That's the only reason you win, because Philia's fucking fat thighs save lives. Number 13!
Welcome. I'll be attending to you this evening.
Marie. This is one of the coolest designs in this franchise. The only reason she's lower on the ranking is because we don't get to see a lot of her. I know that she is going to be added to the game if she hasn't been already, but like, she had such a strong concept from the get-go, right? She's like the current holder of the Skull Heart. I love a battle maid. You guys know this about me, but a battle maid with skulls and a really strong skeleton and horror motif, it just sent my heart aflutter. I love Marie. I wish she had a little bit of an older design, but like knowing her backstory, I get why they made her so young. It's also such a clean concept. She doesn't have a ton of embellishment and a ton of like fucking design stuff because her boss fight has a lot of detail. So the base like fucking character design had to be like very simple. But the design is super solid though. Half her rib cage is missing. She has like the skulls on her twin tails. The fucking vacuum cleaner is a part of her kit. It's awesome. Number 12, baby!
Ooh, blood tingling.
Okay, Black Dahlia. I actually really like this design, but I don't know a lot about the character because I didn't actually get to play with her. I think she's named after a very famous murder case that happened like in LA like a bajillion years ago. The thing I like about her is how fucking classy and sexy she looks. I would she would kill me, but I would smash. There is such an old Hollywood glamour to this character, and I know why. It's because of the fucking murder case that the character is based off, which was very much old Hollywood inspired, that it just really stands out. Like, the really long dress, the fancy hat, the cool cape, the opera-length gloves, like, it's such a fucking good one. She's the Doom guy of Skullgirls. Oh! She's the one that murdered Squiggly. No way! A fucking asshole. Oh, then we hate her, because Squiggly is, like, one of my favorite characters. The design is so baller, though! Wait, is that gun part of her arm? Oh, no, it is. We lost the arm. The face is also super sinister. Like, it's a veil, but you can see, like, one eye. And the hairstyle is super fucking cool. Like, I don't like that she's mean, but the design is so fucking baller. 11!
I'll kick Uranus! Who greenlit this?
So, Annie has a really cool design, but a very simple one. Annie's one of those characters that I never really understood what her deal is. I know she's supposed to be, like, a movie star. But other than that, I'm not quite getting what the deal with this character is. I'm not seeing a lot of horror here. It's still a very, very solid design. I love her props, and I love her Bunui, and her color scheme is so fucking nice. And she looks done with the universe, which is very, very fun. Her mother became a Skullgirl, and her wish was for Annie to be a kid forever. Oh, that's horrifying. The one thing about Annie that I wish I could see more of is that horror element that is present with most Skullgirls. She doesn't look that scary or scary adjacent. The only thing that kind of looks scary adjacent is her, like, Bunui, but that's not, like, on her person, if that makes sense. Honest to God, though, a pretty solid one, regardless. I do really like the silhouette for this. I think it's very clean, very crisp. Nothing super complicated, but nothing super simple either. It gets the point across that she is some sort of magical being, but it doesn't give me famous actress. We're getting to the good shit! We're getting to the top 10, baby!
I am 287 pounds of folded steel and sex appeal.
He's in here because he's hot! There's 2 Weens in this game, and this is one of them, and he's hot. He throws chairs, chat. He's sexy. He's werewolf daddy coded. I like Beowulf. I love his fucking motif. You can immediately tell that he's werewolf coded from the fucking arm hair alone. And then they gave him like this giant wolf hood and like fuzzy bits on his outfit. Like, he's a wrestler, right? They could have made him really scruffy in the hair, but they just decided to give him a lot of body hair, and that's it. It's horror coded, and also we got a Ween. I know that the game is called Skullgirls, but they had to put one in eventually. Number 9!
What am I fighting for?
So I like Fortune a lot because Catgirl, and I do think that Robo Fortune is a phenomenally good design, because Fortune's thing is being able to split apart, right? But with like the robot one, they just made it super funny. Robo Fortune is way more angular than Fortune. She's way more harsh. Her color scheme is really cold. And she's not nearly as like happy-go-lucky. She's way more robotic, if that makes sense. Every fighting game has a robot character, chat. And I think it looks baller, alright? Beep boop meow! Number 8, baby!
your world and draw us ever closer.
Now, a lot of you people would be like, Lily, why? But like, have you seen the nun form? Have you guys seen the amount of fucking weird shit Double can do? You know I'm not biased. You're biased. This is one of the most creative character designs, and Skullgirl is one of the best. It's phenomenal in how fucking off-putting and ooky spooky it is. Double was a big inspiration for my character, so I'm obviously gonna be a little bit of a huge fan of it. Everything about Double is phenomenal. From the religious iconography that they fucking destroyed to make this character, to the very, very clear references to The Thing, the overt body horror that's still very much cartoony, and the way that it's animated. If you guys have ever seen Double in motion, you will know immediately, like her idols, that goosebumps, but it's such a good design. Just has a great moveset that you can like imitate people and whatnot. For me, Double is, again, horror design masterclass, and this is what really shines about Skullgirl to me, is when they manage to take something that's scary, but, like, you know, they still gave it tits. I would the Double, I'm sorry. I would get annihilated, or we would just melt together, because we're, like, similar, like, I'm Space Buddy. But still, I would Double! Number 7!
No mercy, voila.
Now, Parasol is similar to Umbrella in the sense that she mainly relies on the umbrella as a weapon. However, unlike Umbrella, Parasol has a very, very strong design on her own. It's very simple. She's just wearing a very tight black skirt and a very tight turtleneck and like her upside down cross, and that's it. But she also has a very distinct sex appeal and also a very distinct color scheme that contrasts a lot more than Umbrella's. The harsh black with the bright red hair, not to mention the fact that she's all leggy, and her umbrella is also black with a very, very bright accent. It just does a lot to sell this character as an absolute tyrant of a person. A stick in the mud, very, very sexy. You can definitely tell that Girly Pop is on a mission, and she will not stop until she fucking completes it. She has legs for days, and you know what the best part is? She's not even wearing heels. She's an incredibly sexy character, and she has, like, her feet flat on the ground. They don't need to rely on, like, traditionally sexy clothing item like high heels or Parasol, because the character itself is just that sexy. And it's so curvaceous while still keeping like a not super Bava-Boom figure. It just does such a good job. She's not super ooky spooky, but she has the goth girl vibe, which I definitely appreciate. So she definitely fits into what I would consider to be the Skullgirl's meta in terms of character design. Also, high key would smash. Absolutely would smash. Parasol can destroy me any day. She's amazing, she has a really cool moveset, and she has like a very interesting way to do things as a unit.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Number 6!
The one, the only.
Cerebella. This was getting really, really difficult at this point, because Cerebella has a really strong concept. I adore her character design, okay? I do think it's one of like the best designs in the game, even if it's not my favorite design in the game, because it's just such a strong concept. Girly Pop with fat fucking bags, but she's a circus performer, and her hat is actually like the thing that fights for you. This goes back to like the Disgaea school of character designs, because we have some really big exaggerated features, giant arms, and the really, really big horns, and the fat booba, very skinny baby waist, like pointed shoes, big skulls everywhere. It really helps with like her circus performer shtick. She has orange in her color scheme, which is not my favorite color, but it highlights her hair so well. Like at this point, since they knew that the design was so busy, they decided to work with color to make the face the focal point, and made the brightest color on the design her hair. So that way, you will immediately go to her face and you'll look up and see that the thing that she's actually wearing is her hat. It's amazing. I think the thing that ties it together for me is that despite the fact that the design is so top-heavy, it doesn't at all drown out the bottom half of the character. It's not just because of the tits, chat. It's also because of how well-balanced her body is and how Bava-Boom it is. And the fact that they made her feet pretty big, the shoes are pointed, she has like very wide sleeves. So yeah, like she's nestled in between the arms of her hat pretty nicely, but she also stands on her own 2 feet as a character. All right, we're getting into the big kahunas of the character designs for Skullgirl now. Like we're getting into the ones that I personally consider to be my absolute favorite, the very best. So let's fucking give it up for number 5. Let's go, let's do it. Now, Ophelia is one of the first characters that you can actually meet, and she's actually one of the first characters that I ever saw conceptualized in this game. And And when I first saw her concept art, I don't know if I was drawing not safe for work at this point, because I saw her and I immediately went, God damn, she's thick! And that's kind of like Philia's thing. So Philia's a very interesting, because she's one of the ones that I would like to call Parasite Fighter. Philia has an entity on her hair called Samson. Fun fact, she was originally blonde. And that's the thing that gives her the ability to fight with her hair. In terms of like someone, of like the horror girl aesthetic, the parasite on the head is phenomenal. I also really love that the hair has so much movement and fluidity to it, even when the character is standing still. If you've ever seen the idols for the game, you will see how well balanced her animations are in between taking care of the fact that the character needs to move well, and so does the hair. It's an incredibly strong design, and they knew that the hair was going to be super busy, so in terms of color, she doesn't have much. She's mainly working with black and white with some accents, and because they wanted the star of the show to be Samson, to be her face.
The Skullgirls team wanted to make Darkstalkers 3.
Honestly, good for them, because they're never making a new one. They might as well take care of it. And it does fit with that kind of Darkstalkerish theme, doesn't it? Like the horror girly pops. I love it.
Before Samson, her thighs were less thick.
Oh yeah, Samson makes her thickier because he needs more food. Yeah, like a very like Vava Boom girly pop in like a very bastardized school uniform. Which is funny, because when I first saw Philia, I did not at all clock that she was in high school. She seemed so much older to me when I first saw the character. But the thing about Skullgirls, though, is that for me, the ages of the characters don't really matter, except for the really, really young ones, because it's all about the vibe. And the vibe of the game was very, very Vava Boom. Like, the point of it was to make sexy fighty girl characters. And up until a certain point where they started making other units, they followed themes. I assumed she was in college, so did I, because look at her! But yeah, very solid design, incredible concept to have the parasite be her hair and have the parasite actually fight for you. That's why she's in my top 5. Number 4, let's do it!
Aren't you quite the specimen?
Valentine is, Valentine has such a solid concept, so like, I think that she's like the bastardization between the sexy nurse Halloween costume and the nurses from Silent Hill. But also she's kind of like a ninja. I love the shuriken on her fucking calves. I like the shuriken on her like little hat also. Remind me if I'm wrong, this was supposed to be a Red Cross before, but the Red Cross got mad at them. But if you ask me, the Red Cross would have been too harsh with the color scheme she has now. I think that according to the Geneva Convention, you can only use the Red Cross for medical things, so you can't really use it for character design or for stuff for games or entertainment. It has to be strictly for hospital things. I think that the pink fits her much better because it's a bright pop of color without being super harsh, and Valentine already has like a very unique color scheme. She has like very bright blue hair, but you'll notice that her overall color palette is very desaturated. That's because they could not make her nurse uniform clean white, because it would have completely fucked with a horror aesthetic. I love the bone saw that she carries around like a fucking katana. But yeah, ninja sexy Halloween nurse was definitely not in my bingo card when I first saw Skullgirls, but I fell in love with the concept. It's so strong, like, the booba out, the butt is barely covered, super thick thighs, but she's still wearing her face mask and gloves, and it's like, oh, God, examine me, mommy! This is why Valentine is one of the best characters in this fucking game. But again, she was dethroned by some other characters that, like, I definitely resonated with me more, but she's pretty up there. Valentine's one of my favorites. Top 3, chat!
Now's my chance!
It's the cat. Is anyone surprised? No, nobody. Okay, Miss Fortune. She's fucking great for a variety of reasons. Not all of them being the underboob. But Miss Fortune has such a fun gimmick. The fact that she got cut up, but she had swallowed a stone that makes you immortal, so she just stitched herself back together, and she fights by throwing her limbs at you that are just like barely connected with sinew. It's both genius and horror perfection. She's a weird cat girl too, because her ears and her tail don't match her hair color, which is weird to me. I prefer it when they do, but I do like it a lot. She also has grippers out, which helps with like that very wild aesthetic. She's barely dressed. She's one of the most naked characters in this game, and that's saying something because a lot of people in Skullgirls wear like nothing but mama underboob and panties and like destroyed pants and like baby gloves, and that's it, mama. But Miss Fortune is interesting in the sense that like she's still alive. She's not like a zombie or anything like that. She's like dead ass, just happened to eat something that makes her immortal, and she has yet to hack it back up. So her story is all about like, why are people trying to kill me? Yeah, but she's really funny. She's a hooligan. She looks like a hooligan. She looks really wild and rough around the edges. Very, very charming character. I definitely enjoy Miss Fortune. All right, we're getting to my top 2, which are probably, you guys can tell which one that is, but I'm not gonna say it. So this is my second favorite character in Skullgirls, and you might be able to tell why immediately.
And now,
The grand finale!
Squiggly is my second favorite character in Skullgirls for a variety of reasons, but the main one being, first of all, baby girl is owed this. She is one of the very few zombie girly pops in media that I'm actually obsessed with. But the reason I love Squiggly is because her concept is so fucking strong. This is one of those character designs that is iconic, that you look at it and you know immediately what it is. She has one of the most solid character concepts I've ever fucking seen, especially in a fighting game. And in a fighting game, your character concept is everything, okay? You picked off based off the character and how the character looks. Squiggly is another parasite fighter, by the way. She has like that thing coming out of like her head. I don't remember what the fucking name is, but that alone gives her such a good dynamic action line as a character. She is also a performer whose mouth was sewn shut, which is so fucking mean. The design is baller. The tattered clothes that have like a pattern and like their fucking disheveledness. The stripy socks and stripy sleeves. The giant skull on her chest. The eye cover. I think she's missing that eye. The mouth sewn shut, which is super fucking zombie. The fat fucking hips! Again, very, very Vava Boom, which fits with like the aesthetic of Skullgirls, which is like Monster Girl, but like make it sexy. I love this design to bits. The color scheme is also one of my favorites because it's like peak zombie. It's like dark blue, gloomy purples, but we have bright red accents. The dress is a phenomenal silhouette because it looks like a performer's dress, but with a lot of wear and tear because she's been buried. She's been like dead for a while. The fact that she also has like one skeletal hand, but the transition is seamless because it's hidden in her sleeve. The fucking long as fuck neck to kind of like give the parasite more give. Great presentation, iconic design, amazing fucking action line. It's so dynamic. It has so much movement even when it's standing still, and that's why she's one of the best. And now, the number one, the, in my opinion, best designed fucking character in Skullgirls is...
Yes, I am rich.
Eliza. Now, the closest this game has come to having an antagonist that isn't the fucking Skullgirl is this bitch, okay? And she's playable. Eliza is a phenomenal character. She is, like Squiggly, a performer. She is also, fun fact, a parasite fighter. But you don't see it in her human form. She has others that she uses in-game, but we're not going to show them here. Now, Eliza is my favorite for a variety of reasons. First of all, she perfectly captures the sexuality and sensuality aspect of Skullgirls that made the fucking franchise so strong aesthetically to begin with. Second, her horror aspect is flawless. Mummy, undead being, but also make it hot. Third, the Egyptian theming on her is phenomenal. She has a giant ink wrap around her body that ties at her waist. Her titty is out, but it also doubles as like a showgirl outfit.
Fucking knew it. Lily's typed perfectly.
I'm a bottom! And Eliza just hits so many fucking things for me. She also has the feather of truth on her forehead. I'm an Egypt nerd, and I'm a bottom. Did you guys really think it was gonna be different? And it's really fun because her microphone doubles as a scepter. She has some moves that she can actually summon, like giant beefy bodyguards with like the heads of Horus and what was it? Another one of the creatures from ancient Egyptian mythology. But the cool thing about her outfit is it's very clearly Egyptian, but it's also so showgirl. And she's also so mean. She's an incredibly showgirl coded character because she has like the big fucking coat on the back. She has the giant microphone. Everything about her is over the top. It's super extra. She uses blood manipulation as one of the main ways that she can fight, which is very, very fun to see in action. And that makes her very fun to see when she's animated because the color is actually really striking. But for the most part, her color scheme is very solid. It's 4 colors. It's gold, it's black, it's white, and it's teal. She has dark skin, which really, really contrasts the character color scheme nicely, as well as the bright red of the blood that she uses to fight. She's an absolutely goated unit, has such a fun moveset, and is such a fabulous character overall. I genuinely love what they did with her, and that's why she's my favorite character in Skullgirls. Overall, though, all of the character designs in Skullgirls are very, very solid. Aesthetically, it's one of the best fighting games out there. It's animated beautifully, and all the characters have super strong themes. It's like horror, but slapstick, but rubber hose, but so well made. I definitely recommend checking the game out, if only to just see these characters in action, because I have stills, but they have a lot more life when they're actually animated, okay? There's so much for these girly pops that you can't really just see from the renders alone. So I definitely recommend that you guys check out Skullgirls. And if you like this video, because it's gonna be a little bit of baby segment, like, comment, subscribe. Have you ever played Skullgirls? Would you be willing to check it out? Which one is your favorite design? Which one is the one that you think is the most boobylicious? Let me know in the comments, all right? And remember, if you've never tried G-Subs before, go check it out. Just go to gamersubs.gg/kinkymation and or use code kinkymation at checkout for 10% off. Also, free shipping this week worldwide on orders over $50 and if you use my code.